two of the most popular divers that I can think of on the luxury watch market currently, and for quite some time, are the Rolex Submariner and the Omega Seamaster Professional Diver 300 meter. And if you're in the market for one of these, there's a good chance you cross-shopped it with the other. Here's my take on these two. So I've had my share of the Omega Seamaster Professional Diver if you've been following this channel. I started off with the white Seamaster and bought alongside it the black no-wave dial Seamaster Professional Ceramic, the S&P-C, and eventually sold them both and bought this blue Seamaster. That blue Seamaster has long been gone, and the Rolex Submariner found its way to my collection. But today, the blue Seamaster is on loan from a friend, and I decided to do a little comparison and maybe help you decide on which diver is the right one for you. Starting off with the specs, I'll list them side by side on the screen. The Seamaster Professional is on the larger side, coming in at 42mm versus 40.5mm. The Submariner is thinner and will slide under the sleeves a little better, but that's not to say that S&P is thick by any means. I actually think the thickness on the S&P is standard for a diver. The lug-to-lug is shorter on the Submariner, but has a longer end link to end link. The one criticism that the S&P has is that the 20mm bracelet does not taper, which isn't an issue for me, while the Oyster bracelet tapers from 21mm to 16.5mm. The S&P's clasp is a bit wider at 21.5mm, while the Submariner has a clasp width of 18.7mm. The Submariner's glide lock extension system is one of the best in the market, with 20mm of extension in increments of 2mm. The Seamaster's on-the-fly extension system is also excellent with their push-button slide feature, and it allows about 12.5mm of range at about 2mm increments. I love both systems and they both work extremely well. I find that I only use about 1 or 2 points of micro adjustments, so having a wide range of on-the-fly adjustments isn't something that I take advantage of. The lume is equally bright on both watches. However, the lume pip is smaller on the Seamaster, but it does have lumed indices all around, whereas the Submariner date has the date window replacing a lumed index at 3 o'clock. So the S&P is a larger watch in almost every dimensional category. Even the crystal diameter on the S&P is larger at 31.4mm, while the Submariner is at 30.2mm. But if I look at it from an aesthetics standpoint, the Submariner has a more traditional, classic design language. The watch is mostly brushed from a head-on point of view, with simple crown guards and knurling edges on the bezel that's extremely easy to grip and turns with such satisfying clicks. The lugs are nothing but ordinary, as they are simply straight with no beveling. The bracelet is a simple 3-link design that is fully brushed on the top surface. The dial is paired with its signature Mercedes hands and has a glossy finish, but pales in comparison to that of the Seamaster with its ceramic dial. The typography that Rolex uses is classic, with even spaces for a well-balanced look. For the most part, the letters all use the same characteristics, even with slightly different font styles. The bezel markings are sized accordingly, unlike the Seamaster with its bold sizing. Perhaps the one element that shouts at you is the shiny ceramic bezel insert, but other than that, it's mostly subdued if you compare it to the Seamaster. Like I said, traditional and classic. All of the elements and design choices on this watch seem to be well proportioned and complement one another. It really makes you realize how Rolex first started off as a company who built purposeful tool watches, and how they didn't stray too far from its first Submariner, reference 6204. That is the strong heritage that watch enthusiasts look for. Switching over to the Seamaster Professional Diver 300 meter, which is a handful to say. It's clearly a more striking watch with more daring design choices. I think this watch stands out more in the crowd with its polished features, laser engraved ceramic dial, the helium escape valve, and an interesting bracelet design. The dial is polished ceramic and features laser engraved waves etched into it. It has a pop of red on the Seamaster text along with the red tipped seconds hand. The handset is your skeleton hands that is definitely polarizing in comparison to the Mercedes style hands. Although you could say both handsets are equally polarizing, but nonetheless, these are the brand's signatures and I don't see it going away anytime soon. The bezel edge has a unique scalloped edge design which is difficult to grip and to turn, and not as satisfying as the Submariner. The bezel action on the SMP feels harsh and not as refined as the Submariner, but it is still solid and won't turn if it rubs against your clothes or if you bump it against a wall. Sitting on top of the bezel is a ceramic insert with large, bold numerals. The lugs feature Omega's signature lyre lug design, where the lugs look like they're being twisted by adding polishing surfaces. The caseback is an exhibition caseback displaying Omega's 8800 caliber, a nice feature to have especially when you're paying thousands of dollars on a watch, unlike the conservative caseback found in the Submariner. The bracelet on the SMP is obviously not your traditional 3-link design, rather it is made up of 9 separate components to form one link, with small polished accents in between the middle and outer links. The bracelet feels a lot more substantial than the Oyster, and probably has to do with the fact that the links are thicker on the SMP by 0.7 millimeters. The Seamaster diver is also well proportioned and features a lot of Omega's signature designs such as the skeleton hands, helium escape valve, and the lyre lugs. It's a lot busier with the waves, large numerals on the ceramic insert with minute markings all around, and overall takes on more risks than the Submariner. The heritage may not be as strong as Rolex's heritage, but the ties this watch has to James Bond is pretty cool. The Submariner plays the timeless classic look with moderate dimensions that would fit more wrists than the Seamaster Professional. It retains a lot of its value, especially when buying it at retail, and the brand recognition is unparalleled. It's undoubtedly my favorite bezel action to play with, but it could get boring over time. It doesn't have too many variations compared to the Seamaster, and it's a more expensive timepiece. The Seamaster Professional Diver is a great bargain in the pre-owned market. It has more playful colors in its lineup. It brings more interesting visual features like the see-through caseback, skeleton hands, laser-etched waves, ceramic dial, and helium escape valve. It is a beefier, larger watch and may not fit as many wrists like the Submariner, but it does have a powerful presence, though I do remember getting wrist fatigue during the end of the day due to its weight. All in all, I think if you're looking for something classic, the Submariner will be my choice. If you want something that is youthful and bold, the Seamaster Professional Diver would be the one to get. Thanks for watching.